Hi there, and thanks for clicking into my video. My name's Ian, and what we'll be looking at today is a makeover of my mid-70s 2-bedroom apartment. So here are the pictures that I saw online of the apartment. You can see the beautiful, gross, pink walls along with those blinds, the made-up kitchen here, which has been given clearly a facelift, and the bathroom. Now these were the 4 images that I decided, look, I'm going to check this place out. And not long after, I ended up getting the keys. So here's Joel, my partner, and I having celebratory drinks in each room. One in the kitchen with the disgusting oven, one in the bathroom, of course, one in the 2nd bedroom with the disgusting door, and then in the main bedroom. Now, of course, there were some surprises left here for us. One of them was this little photo of baby Jesus and Holy Mother Mary, which was quite funny. So we kept that and given it to a friend. And this is just the layout of the 55 square meter mid-70s apartment. So it's not a big place, but I definitely saw potential in what I had first inspected. So we'll start off by looking at the bathroom, where I've taken some photos with my phone and made some quick notes as to what things I would like to get done. So you can see a few ideas here, some plants, some different fittings, and just refreshing the bathroom as is. It was already kind of done, and that was an aspect of the area that I was mainly happy with. So just refreshing it and doing some grouting. What we'll do is look at the before pictures and then go into what the place looks like now. So let's start off in the bathroom, where only some little things have been fixed up. You can still see the original sink is in there, original vanity is still in there as well, but those plans to upgrade them, as you saw in the photos, are still in the books. There's the blind, so that's really nice to pull down, especially if we're looking for a little bit of extra privacy. You can also pull that back as well if that extra little bit of privacy is required. There's a good amount of storage in there. Now you can see in the reflection there's a shelf which has been changed for a glass one, and some cute plants have been put on there. The plants, let's talk about that at a different time. That's something that was a little bit unplanned but has kind of taken over, and I love them. But yeah, that's looking really good now. It's nice and clean, especially with that white toilet seat instead of having the wooden one. This is another issue that I found, especially with my long hair. There's black hairs everywhere. It's super annoying. Joel hates it, but oh well, just gotta keep it up with the cleaning. So turning around, shower's nice and clean and easy to use. The only issue here is that sometimes there's a little bit of oversplash on the outside of where it's supposed to stay, I guess. This towel rail is going to be changed. We have discovered that because there's not much airflow or heating in here, the towels do tend to stay a little bit moist, and so I'm going to change that for a heated towel rail. The door has also been given a bit of an upgrade where these hooks weren't there before, to give us a little bit more hanging space for our towels. Sometimes the floor mat is also on there, as well as other things that we want dried out. One last thing, this light still has to be changed. So ideally I want something that's LED and also an exhaust fan too. So that's probably it for the bathroom upgrade. Let me know what you think, and if there are any comments, of course, let us know what we can do to help this space be a little bit more functional, be a little bit more beautiful. Now we'll head into the kitchen, which was another space that really didn't need that much work and basically just needed some things here and there to be updated. So you can see that I wanted to replace that oven, which is like an old white goods appliance there, which is just too old looking for me, and then some storage solution ideas here just to give it a modern feel. The range hood needed a clean and it needed a cover there for the bulb, and then we started getting onto the painting of the walls. So I did end up finding a really nice stainless steel oven, and we ended up fitting the blinds as well. So there's really nice little things that we were doing to update the space. Finally, we marked out some markings on the wall in order to install some extra shelving. All right, so you've seen the before of the kitchen. This is how it is now. So it's pretty much really unchanged. There's just been some things that we've installed to bring it up to, I guess, today's standard and make it a little bit more private with this blind at first, so that makes it a little bit nicer to block out the sun, especially in the afternoon. Under here, we do have to do a lot of work with the storage. This place has a lot of storage considering how small it is, but it's just about optimizing that storage really is the next sort of big step for us. So if you guys have any ideas for storage solutions, especially like with this space here, we've got this like funky sort of swing out door. I don't have any drawers, so if there's a solution for drawers that you guys can think of, we would really appreciate it. Otherwise, what do you think we can do with this space? Another thing that I find too is the height of these. They're really high for me. I'm not tall at all, so I kind of find I have to either jump up on the bench or I need to grab one of the seats to be able to reach up to the very top, so that's not handy. These mugs, thanks Zach and Mary for them. We've used them a few times now, hanging on this rail, which was there before, but what wasn't there before was this handy little magnetic strip for the knives. So that's just been screwed in, and it's really nice to be able to just take them off, stick them on, do our preparation on this bench here. Biggest thing that I wanted to change was that oven, that ugly white sort of really cheap oven that was there has been replaced by this unit. I still have to fix this light, but we're in lockdown, so I can't really go anywhere. I'm not sure if the nearest J car is within the 10-kilometer range, but it's still something that I need to fix for the oven light. But other than that, it works really well, and I think it helps to really lift the look of the kitchen and ties in nicely with the handles here too. Also, just to bring in a little bit more storage but not make the place feel heavy with too many things on the floor, we decided to install these stainless steel shelves. This is just an IKEA unit which you can actually add on other panels to make it nice and wide, but I really just wanted this one, so you know, you can still stand here without getting interrupted by all of this stuff, but all of the utensils here are within easy reach. I can't really reach the things up the top, but that's fine because those are the things that don't really get used too often. Underneath, we've got a little rollable bench here which can be expanded if needed, and you know, extra little shelves and storage. Then that bin, which I really do want to integrate into one of the cupboards here so that we've got more floor space and don't have to think about that bin. Finally, there's the fridge, which fits in the slot nicely and also matches the feel of the rest of the kitchen shelving and appliances. So that's the kitchen update. As for now, it's almost been a year since being in here, and even though it is quite small, it's very functional. We don't have a dish rack either, but drying the dishes just like this is, you know, good enough for us. And once all the dishes are away, without having that sort of dish rack, that typical sort of frame or plastic dish rack there, it does keep the apartment looking nice and clean. Now moving on to the next space, which is the second bedroom, the smaller one of the two, where there was a lot more work to be done than the bathroom or the kitchen. So These first few pictures is just the progress of a wiring conduit that I wanted to hide. It was the only one in the whole place that was like that, which is a bit weird. Then you can see us prepping for the walls to get painted. The inside of the cupboards were really yellow, that needed fixing. And also we wanted to add a little feature wall here as well. The floor needed some work too, where the skirting was missing. And so I learned how to use that miter tool, and it was like a little bit of a game of Tetris, but it was quite fun. And the second bedroom is not a bedroom anymore. Welcome to our office. This room is getting used a lot lately, especially now because we are in a full lockdown. We are in here every day. Sometimes one of us can only be in here, especially if there are meetings going on. Because it is quite small, we kind of, tend to talk over the top of each other, especially when I'm on calls or when Joel's in a meeting. And on other calls, we can't be in the same room at the same time, but that's fine. Now, the biggest thing that I wanted to get rid of was that wire conduit, I guess, that used to run from this light switch up in through the wall. So you can see there we've gotten rid of it, and that's really, really nice because it gives the wall a nice and clean feel like it is everywhere else in the apartment. We've managed to also get rid of all of the cracks that plagued the cornices. So the top and bottom edges of the cornices had a lot of cracking, and the ceiling was also cracked a lot as well. Like the plaster had heaps of peeling, and so we had to get rid of all of that just to make it look nice and fresh again. You can see the light has also been changed for this IKEA sort of 3-way LED downlight unit, and that was nice and easy to do, and it got rid of those ugly, sort of really gross looking oyster lights, and it also helps to focus the light onto the various walls. So you'll remember that we had marked out some blue tape on this wall, and this is what the result was. These little black square shelving units I found them from Marketplace actually, and it was $10. And yeah, just made this arrangement, planned it out on the floor to see what we liked, and we agreed on this little arrangement here. And it's really nice because the decorations in there we can just change around to whatever we want them to be. And yeah, it's changed around a few times, so you can see that those units are just in there with little screws, and they're just hanging on there. Nice and easy, super effective though, and I really love turning around just to have a look at that every now and again. So there's Joel's setup. I'm just using IKEA adjustable height tables. And then there's my setup there and all my plants. So these usually wouldn't be there all bunched up like that, but it is a little bit too cold for them at the moment. So they've got a little heating pad underneath and that grow light from Bunnings, and everything seems to be doing really, really nicely there. Some other plants that we've got here on Joel's side, this was a little $8 rescue buy from Bunnings. It didn't look that great when I first got it, but I think I'm doing pretty well with it. This little terrarium was a present from Mike and Shane. Guys, I'm sorry that the upkeep on this hasn't been that great. It looks really weird right now, but I think we can refresh that and make it look heaps better. And this little pot has just been a mishmash of different plants that we've had, and I've just managed to grow them in there. They're doing well. But yeah, that guy definitely needs help. Whoops. A little display shelf here. We've got my degree up the top and just little trinkets, family stuff. A little Bluetooth speaker down there as well. One thing that we've not yet fixed up is all the wiring underneath our desks. So we did want to go to IKEA to get, I guess they're called wire tidies or something, cable tidy units that can hook onto the back of the desks. But IKEA was a hotspot when we had this idea, so we didn't go, and now we're in lockdown. So that's a little bit unfortunate, but that's definitely something that we need to get on top of so that we can neaten up the floor space as well. Now these chairs, we also have some brown leather that we'd like to cover them in. Obviously we'll get someone to do that, so once that's done, we'll definitely have to give you an update because they're awesome chairs. Just the fabric's looking a little bit tired, and we'd really love to refresh that with some really nice brown upholstery leather. And this bag has served me for years and years. I got it for my 30th and it's been almost about 8 years now since I've had it, and it's still going strong. So thanks guys who got that for me. You know who you are, Costa Cruises crew from the Costa Victoria, which is no longer in service. That bag has, you know, I'm still using that bag, so goodbye guys. Cool. And there on the other side, we've just got our storage here with the wardrobe. That's pretty packed. So again, we just need to optimize the space. We've tried to keep the top shelves here nice and neat by using these Officeworks tubs to put all our crap in. We also had to make sure that these back walls, I know it's like something that you don't really see, but we ensured to prep and paint all of the back walls in here as well, because they were really, really yellow when we first moved in. All the cornices up there as well was cracked and yellow, and just to make it all fresh again, we painted it all white as well. Yes, I'm obsessed with Hamilton. That's what the top says. I'm young, scruffy and hungry. So it's a cool musical. If you haven't seen it, watch it. But that's our office. If there's any suggestions that you'd like to make, let us know. But let's go on to the next room, which is the bedroom. Now I've got to say the bedroom was in the pictures, nothing special to look at, but now that we put our special touch on it, it's one of my favorite spaces in the apartment. So these are the previous photos of the old blinds. The wall needed attention by the door. Of course, there were the ugly oyster lights in the room. The ceiling was really bad. Again, the plaster was flaking. There was all cracking up against the cornices, which all needed repair. There you can see there lots of patching up. But with all that done, it did end up looking quite good. And there's Joel in the middle of painting, all the hard work starting to pay off, as you can see the difference there. Then one of the most satisfying parts of the job is definitely peeling off the painter's tape. When you get to this stage, you're like, oh my God, thank you so much, because all the prep takes so long. Finally, we ordered a new bed for the space and had to put it together. It was an IKEA bed, along with a new mattress and pillows from ErgoFlex too. So that's the before of the bedroom. So let's have a look and see what the bedroom looks like now. And this is one of the most proudest and best facelifts that we love about this place. It just looks really, really clean, really modern, and doesn't look frumpy at all like it used to. When you remember that picture of the bedroom previously with the pink walls, everything looks really, really nice now. So here we did upgrade the window fittings from those disgusting vertical blinds to these roller blinds. We actually ordered the block-out one first, and so we were kind of like the naked neighbors for a little bit of time before we got that sheer one, which is actually super, super handy. The light fitting up here also got changed. We also had to fix up the ceiling and the cornices with all the cracks and all the peeling, so all that has been tidied up quite a lot. The door frames here also needed a lot of work, but we'll go into that in a bit. But you can see it's all nice and clean and is white along with all the walls. Finally, the bed. So we love this bed. It is an IKEA base and an IKEA headboard. The headboard is screwed into the wall to give it that floating feeling, and it does help to get rid of any bedside tables on the floor, which helps to just lift everything up, helps to make things feel a lot lighter, but we still do have the storage shelves there on the side. And of course, some plants for decor. The bed does have shelving underneath as well, so that is super handy for putting our crap in. And then more plants on my side. We've got some nice little lamps here. They weren't expensive at all. I'm pretty sure they're like Kmart lamps or something. They look really nice when they're turned on. And we'll just spin around so you can see what everything looks like with the wardrobes in place. The big mirrors really help to reflect light, especially when the blinds are all the way up. So everything feels nice and airy, nice and bright, which makes everything feel bigger as well. Now the leaves on the back wall or the feature wall are just little decals. So I got them online from, I'm pretty sure it's a company in Newcastle or Central Coast or something, and they literally just stuck on there. And you know, I didn't want to paint a feature wall or anything like that. That was too fussy, but these were really easy to apply. They can come off and match the grey and white theme that we've got going on in the place so far. So yeah, really happy with this bedroom facelift. It's nice and simple, but that's all it kind of needs. You don't want too much clutter in here at all. Now moving on to the living room, which was the largest and most challenging space. There was a lot of work to be done with replacing fittings, needed to replace intercom as well as the yellowed blinds. There was a lot of work to be done in this little entranceway where the paint was very yellow, and you can see that there were stains on the walls where there was an old mirror there too. This is the front door, which required a lot of work to get it up to scratch. And here are the door frames, the metal door frames, which needed the paint stripping before being able to prepare them for any repair work, and then sanding back to then prime and get them painted white. In order to do this, a lot of equipment was required where I needed to mask up, because that paint that was on the door frames was so bloody thick that when I was doing the work, there was just layers and layers of paint dust everywhere when using the tool that we had discovered that was the quickest thing to use. Joel ended up wanting to take off this strange looking, I don't know, faux frame that was in the entranceway. So there was a lot of work to be done there as well. Not only taking it off, but also repairing the holes that the wooden panels were attached to the wall too. So lots of patching up, lots of paint stripping, lots of repairing, and lots of coats of paint as well. We discovered that there were smoke stains on the ceiling on the side where the sofa was, and so that took like 5 layers of paint to get up to scratch. The front door wasn't too bad to work on. I just had to make sure the timing was right so that the property wasn't left with no door. There was extra work to be done on the 3 doors to the entrance of the bedroom, office and the bathroom, where the doors were changed for solid core doors and then painted this really nice grey colour called Mountaintop. We also got new light fittings or new wiring done to get the lights changed, and the intercom was of course going to be changed. So let's start where we've left off, and that's this intercom. So you'll remember with the previous one, it was freaking yellow, it had paint drips on it, it looked disgusting. So I changed it, I managed to figure out the wiring for it to function correctly, and now it's this nice white one which matches the walls as well. We also decided to get rid of the previous massive oyster light in the middle there and got the downlights installed. Thank you so much, Seb, for installing these downlights. And best thing about them is, again, we're able to aim them, and so we can put the focus in on the display cabinet there if we need to. Sometimes I like to put the focus on this table here as I'm working on some projects that I do from time to time to give me that task lighting. Otherwise, they're focused on the plants in the corner or also the artwork. Now, I really like this piece here. This was drawn by Joel's dad, who is an architect, and he drew out this plan, I guess, or I'm not sure what they're called, perspectives on the apartment. So they're really, really cool and to scale. And when he drew them out, I was like, I want that framed. And so we did get it framed, and we're going to keep that hanging there. The entrance to the kitchen is flanked by those two pots as well. So just to give some color and interest. We've got the Pantone pots, giving the entrance a little bit of life. We also did a thing here on the door, or the entrance to the bedrooms, office and bathroom. You can't see anything now, but you'll remember that Joel was removing some paneling that was on the edges of this entrance. We thought originally that that was metal as well, but when he started taking it off, it was actually wood, and we actually got rid of all of that. We inserted some dowel in various places to cover where the previous wooden frame was doweled in, and used that render, that cement render, to get rid of that ugly frame, just to make it all look nice and flush and cohesive. I did have to use that tool, which I later found out was called a miter, to clean up these edges, so you can kind of see that there's a bit of a change in that wood. This is where that paneling was, which came up and framed this entrance. So I needed to use that miter tool on both sides, and these are now making the edges look nice and clean like the rest of the skirting. Alright, so just to give you an overview of the space, this is the living room and all the seating there. Thank you so much, Steph, for this awesome swivel chair in the window. Really love that, super comfy, and I love just sitting there just looking at my plants and just staring at them from time to time, which is a bit weird, but I don't know why I do it. It's just really relaxing, I guess. These cement coffee tables are really fun. They're pretty heavy, so I probably won't move them around too much with one hand. But what I like about them is that they're modular, and we can just arrange them as we see fit, in like a long arrangement, or sometimes we arrange them in a little compact arrangement, just depending on what we're doing. So it's really nice and flexible in that way. Now you see that there's gym equipment everywhere, and it's because our gym has actually let us borrow their equipment while they hold Zoom sessions. So that's really, really cool. Not sure where I can put this, so that's just going to live there for now. I don't think it's going to be too much in the way. And we'll go to the entrance here where that door got a refresh. So I really love the color of this door. It's this rich blue. I really did want to also change the handle here, but it's something that I haven't done just yet. But this entrance needed a lot of work. The door was, unpainted, it looked rough, and a lot of prep work needed to be done, not only on the door, but also on this light. So again, it's just an IKEA light where that ugly metal, I don't even know what to call it, looks like a spaceship and antennas, used to be. So that's been all fixed up. And also the door gives a really nice feel as well. Now, talking about these frames, we had to clean, or didn't have to, but wanted to clean them up to ensure that, they were nice and clean and also the same color as the rest of the apartment. That part took a lot of work. So with these door frames, I'll just go here because this is where the majority of the work was being done, where I had to suit up in the blue hazmat suit and the mask and goggles, just because the paint that was on these metal door frames was so thick that, you know, we ended up trying the paint stripper first, which you saw in the pictures out, and how it kind of like makes it bubble, but that took too long, and then so we got sort of like this caramel wheel on an angle grinder, which was the fastest method, but then it was super messy, and I had to tape up this entrance so that all the mess was in here, but then it was just super dusty and I was breathing in all this crap. But the result speaks for itself. The door frames look excellent and, you know, look really, really clean. The doors here also got a facelift. So as you can see, the handles are those sort of bar ones we can just push down and then enter. And they previously were just sort of like these bare, cheap, lightweight wooden doors, which have now been changed for solid core doors and painted mountaintop grey. Really, really happy with the color scheme. And there's this awesome LED light which we got from Beacon Lighting, which I really enjoy turning off because it kind of does this cool fade off as well. All right, so that's everything in the apartment. If there's anything more that you guys want to see, let us know. But for the time being, what I'll do is I'm just gonna sit down, chill out, and flick to what it's like being here at night. So this is where we're going to love you and leave you. Thank you so much for watching my mid-70s apartment makeover, and hopefully catch you next time.